Yo, welcome everybody to the Paisa Life podcast. It's your boy Bugs, and I'd like to introduce to you the new format. You know, now I'm gonna try to do a quick intro at the beginning of each episode just to sort of get everyone up to speed on what to expect from the upcoming episode, and just to know who's on it because now I'm just gonna try to record the podcast as a regular conversation because that's the way I like to listen to my podcast. I know that's not how everybody likes to listen to theirs, but again, that's how I like to listen to mine. So there you go. This week, I have my boy O on here. We talk a lot of different types of things. Again, we just shoot the shit, and but we do kind of get into sort of the politics of things. How we can be a little more involved, how the type of influence we can have on the political system and things of that sort, and just sort of try to get everyone into the mentality of politics isn't just for white people. We live here too, and it's a part of our life. Whether we want to admit it or not, it's sort of something uh, I guess you could say we ignore it. You know, I certainly have. I know a lot of people also just don't really think about it. But again, the whole point of making podcasts for my bicycle community is not just for me to talk shit, but just to try to inform people. Besides entertainment, informing people, I feel like it's a really good thing to do, just so we sort of get ideas out into the world because ideas really just sort of make the world work, and that's where everything begins. Ideas. So, like I said, this week is just me and my boy O. Hopefully, next week we'll have a few more people on here. Again, if anybody wants to be on here, let me know. Message me, contact me. I'll be more than happy to have you on. But also keep a lookout. Probably within the few days, dropping another episode called "Hustle Anything." Just kind of, it's about just sort of like the name implies, hustling anything. Not drugs hustling, but just sort of grinding, working, sort of getting your own things out. That sort of thing. Also, I have a quick thing I'm calling pull up. It's a car show. Nothing too fancy. Obviously, not fancy at all. It's actually as low budget as you can get. But again, it's more about the content, not the way you shoot it, not the overall production value, but just again, what I want to do is just get content out. Anybody that wants to put anything out, let me know. I'm definitely reaching out to people that love their cars. Again, it doesn't even have to be modified. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just if you love your car and you'd like to share with the world why you love that car, definitely reach out. I'm interested in what kind of cars the community really, what kind of cars do you guys fuck with, because obviously a lot of people are definitely gonna lean towards the foreigns, the sports cars and things like that. But there's a lot of things out there that we sort of take for granted as people that enjoy cars, because there's a lot of people out there that just love their whatever it is, whether it be a truck, SUV, a van, a sedan, a hatchback, any of that stuff. Whatever it is, hit me up and we'll shoot something. But besides that, let's just get into this week's episode. Like I said, it's with my boy O. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. And then if anything, like I said, keep a lookout. So here we go. This is episode I think 15. If not, don't correct me. We're just gonna keep rolling with it, right? So enjoy this week's episode. Thank you guys.
Bro, I have not slept like at all. Yo, I got that fucking second shift. That's the shift I grew up on because my dad used to work that shift.
Yeah. And second shift is usually the one that takes up most of your day because you wake up and you are just getting ready to go to work.
Yo, that is the worst.
And then you get out of work and technically it's night and you technically gotta go to sleep. So
Yo, but here's the thing about that. when I leave work,
Hmm.
full of energy.
You know why? Because you are looking towards leaving. Because you're like, fuck this place. I can't wait to fucking leave. And then by
Yeah.
the time you actually get out,
Yeah.
you're apt to
Listen,
do
I
things.
was fucking tired the whole day.
That's what freedom feels like, bro.
Tired the whole day. And then I get out of work. I feel like I could play an entire game of basketball right now.
That I don't know if that's a guy thing or what it's about. Because I'm kind of like the same thing. Because I went on vacation about 2 weeks ago.
I saw that.
I drove down to Disney and have fun, whatever. But the drive there and the drive back was probably 18, 19 hours a pop, each way. So when I came back home, I got here at 6 on the dot, and the whole drive up here, I was just feeling just tired. I just wanted to go to bed. But somehow, the moment I touched down after driving 18, 19 hours, I literally wanted to go for a run.
Yo, it's crazy.
I don't know
It's
why. I
crazy.
was super tired, and every time I would try to rest in the road, like try to take a quick nap, it was not happening. It
It's
was
the
not happening.
boredom, right? It's the boredom that makes you
I don't
tired.
know. I don't
It's
know if
gotta
it's
be.
the boredom, bro, because I wasn't. A lot of the way I drive is I like to zigzag because assholes don't know how to get out of the left lane, so I always have to switch from left to right, right to left, left to right, and so on. And so I find a good stretch of road where there's no dumbasses on the road, and I can get moving. But yeah, like I said, I came back after a 19-hour drive, and I really felt like I wanted to go for a run. Obviously, I didn't go for the run, but I really felt like I had the energy to do so. So
I don't know. It's got to be something that's passed down by our fathers, constantly working
yeah,
weird shifts, multiple jobs.
yeah, and if you think about it, just throughout multiple generations,
Hmm.
we're kind of the generation that gets to complain the most because we live here in America. We are so privileged, even though we feel like not feel we are looked down upon and we're at the bottom of the social ladder. We still have it pretty good, bro, because we have running water,
Yep.
we have electricity.
Limited violence.
Yeah, like there's a lot of things that we have that our parents never had. So therefore, by default, we are the most bitchiest generation that we have had thus far. Because just think about how our grandparents grew up, bro. These people were not walking around in Nikes and shit, bro. They were walking around in homemade huaraches and just
And
just
they, but here's the thing, bro. When you're young, you want to get those new sneakers, something that looks fly. As I get older, I just want to get into like one good pair of sneakers and just wear it down.
shit that's comfortable, bro.
Yeah, that shit that's comfortable.
You know what they call that? They call that like dad shoes. That's like the best way to describe everything
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
you get the dad body. You start dressing like a dad. You get the comfy shoes, you get the comfy pants, you get the comfy shirts, and it's no longer about looking fly. I'm like
Right.
I've fully embraced the dad life a long time ago, bro. Because as long as I can remember, I've always kind of just wanted to be a dad. Like even though that sounds weird, I always want to be a dad because I like taking care of people. I like looking out for people, and I don't know. I've always had an obsession with Dockers, bro. I always wanted to
Hmm.
wear Dockers, shirts, pants. She just looks comfortable. And now that I'm getting into like the workforce and all that shit, I'm understanding that you gotta look professional.
Right.
Meaning you gotta wear slacks, you gotta wear
Right.
certain type of shoes and stuff like that. And you can't really show up at work, in some fly ass J's, because it's not professional. Nobody's gonna
Oh,
try to buy things off of you when you're wearing J's
also,
unless
J's are just bad sneakers. Don't why? What's the deal? What's the fascination with them?
I don't.
There's like two pairs that I think are good. They
They're
look
good
nice,
looking.
but would I buy them?
Nah,
Probably not.
yeah, of course.
I
Because
don't know.
I've been getting into Adidas lately because
Yo,
I have really
funny you
wide.
mentioned that.
I have really wide feet, and every time I try to wear Nikes, they just squeeze the hell out of my feet, and they just hurt. They just hurt. But every time I put on a pair of Adidas, I don't know why. They just got the extra stuff on the sides just so my fat foot could just step properly. So I've been fucking with them lately. Now I only got like really four shoes that I wear. Your everyday sneakers, your once in a while sneakers, your dress shoes, in your casual shoes, then you don't really need anything above that. Anything
No.
else besides
No.
that is excessive.
Yeah.
It's just you want to be flagrant. Got a couple of track jackets, a couple sort of semi dressy sweaters, and that's really about it. Now that I'm trying to get into sales, I'm gonna probably have to go get more presentable attire and probably shave because I'm not cutting my
Mm.
hair. I'm not. That's one thing I was looking at because I've been getting a lot of interview. I'm been going to a lot of interviews lately, and all of the emails I get to confirm they say dress professionally, and they always put it in quotes. I don't know what the hell they mean by putting it in quotes, but every time I Google the term professional for work,
Because it's open for interpretation,
yeah,
but there is a certain aesthetic that goes with it.
and it's always long hair is not professional, but again, I haven't had any problem with it. Just walk into the room, treat the person politely, greet them. Hey, how you doing? My name is yada yada yada. I'm here for such and such thing. And 9 out of 10 times, everybody's like, oh, I can see it in their face. Like, oh, you're a pretty cool dude. So yeah, you're all right. But yeah, but besides that, let's just talk about some quick current events because I kind of want to been talking about this North Korea thing, which is kind of
Fishy.
I don't want to say fishy. I just want to put it out there that there's a lot of people saying that it's Trump's like yeah, they want to give Trump
Credit.
all of the credit. I've been reading a lot of different things about he's taking some credit. To be honest, I don't really know, but because to me, I don't live in Korea. Korea isn't nearby, so I can't say it affects me directly. I know that it's something that happens in the world, and a lot of people get excited about this shit. But the reason why I want to bring it up is because right now, this is gonna be political gasoline that the Trumpers are gonna try to use to enlarge the flame
Base. Yeah.
the flame that they have for this guy because just like people blindly follow Obama and forget that he deported way more people than any other president
In
before.
fairness, a lot of them were criminals. But criminals is a broad. It's a word for like
Yeah, I mean,
basically being brown is a big crime.
yeah, because
Huge crime.
if you think about it, criminal means you're here illegally. That's like off rip, like that's one thing I've never really been able to deny when arguing with people about, illegals are here illegally, so therefore breaking some sort of law. Obviously, the how bad a criminal someone is really depends on the type of criminal activity they get into because someone that speeds is not the same kind of criminal as someone that murders. It's not the same thing. But yeah, like I was saying, the reason why I wanted to bring up this whole Trump thing is because it blows my mind how just the Republican side of this country is super happy that we're not going to war and that somehow the a country far away, the party that's supposed to be mind your business, let's just worry about home in the U.S. is sort of switching sides with the Democrats, which seem to want war, don't want the Koreas to get together, and sort of like it's mind blowing, bro.
It goes back and forth.
Yes,
Back and forth.
and it only shows that it's all a game, bro. It really is all a game, because these are the type of things I want to start showing people because everyone that isn't involved in politics is just a pawn. Like all people want from you is your vote. That's all they want from you. They don't really care about what's going on. If you look at politics, the mayor here in Newburgh just died. Shout out to her. I heard she was a nice lady. Never really got into the whole politics thing here, but now seeing that there's going to be elections held to see who is going to get that position come, I don't even know when, but there was a temporary mayor appointed for now just to finish out the term. And I feel like this is a perfect opportunity for us to really start getting into politics because, like we were just talking about Trump, we talk so much about this guy, but how much effort did we really put into making sure someone like him didn't get into office? Not much, bro. I look around and there are a lot of people that can vote that don't. And I feel like that is one of our biggest untapped resources that we have as a community. And kind of the reason why I wanted a podcast today because I really just want to start spreading the word about we can make changes. We really can. The only problem is that we haven't tried. We know we have the ability. We know we have the people that might want to get into it with the proper backing, but we don't because we're scared. We're too busy doing our own things. And that's why from this moment forward, the situation I am in my life allows me to try to push for new things because what I want is to show everybody that we all have the capabilities to do more because we all have the same 24 hours. We live in the same place. We go to the same stores. We do a lot of the same things. And we are letting a lot of people that have nothing to do with us control a lot of our lives. Like one thing I've been liking, I haven't really followed up on, is Middletown is planning or is going to give out municipal IDs, which I think is a fantastic idea because anyone that doesn't have a New York State form of identification can now have something from their local government, which they live in, which they pay taxes in, and are a part of that community. Is they're gonna have a form of ID from that government, that local government, saying, "Yes, this is a
Or
person,
citizen
yeah, a person that lives here."
belongs here.
Yeah, because now when you get stopped over there and they want to know your information because for whatever reason, because when I was younger, when I started dating my wife, every time I would go to Middletown, bro, I would get harassed by the cops, bro. They would just pull up, be like, "Hey, where
I
you going?"
think on one or two occasions I was with you.
I'm like, where you going type of shit. And we really weren't doing nothing. I'm guessing just, I don't want to say it was because we were brown. Most likely it was, but
Mm.
I'll just say, hey, we were just questionable looking teenagers because honestly, that's what we were.
Well, we looked very foreign ethnic, so not like your average American citizen.
No, yeah, of course, because we're,
And by American, I mean white.
of course, yeah. Speaking of white, you see that white lady that was yelling at the cops online?
Bro, how beautiful it must feel to be able to do that.
Yeah. I heard she resigned after the fact,
Oh,
but
really?
it's just beautiful to know that she felt so comfortable getting in those cops' face and be like, no, no, don't call me miss, call me commissioner. Like really talking about put some respect on my name type of shit, bro.
Yeah.
That had me fucking bugging out. And I'm
Yeah.
I'm part of this group on Facebook that relates to a podcast that I listen to, and the podcast itself isn't really politically inclined one way or the other. They just kind of sort of make fun of the news on how they trying to manipulate us and just pretty much
Mhm.
feed us bullshit just to sort of keep us thumbed down and or semi entertained. And but the group itself is very very conservative and right winged. And that's where I usually fight most of the people that have problem against immigration because again they, like I explained this to my wife the other day, the reason why a lot of white people hate us is not because they hate you or it's not because they hate me, is because they hate the group as a whole. They've been told this group of people are this or that, the reason why this is happening, the reason why that's not happening, but they've never really related that to actual people. That's how you dehumanize people, by just lumping them together into a large group of people that you don't even know nothing about, bro. Because I always tell these people, be like, please explain to me how illegal immigration affects you negatively directly. and they can't because when they throw the they're stealing our jobs, be like, have they stolen any of your jobs? Because most of the jobs these people have are usually office jobs. You know, jobs that require you to have a valid social security card and a valid driver license and things of that sort. You know, so how can illegal really steal your job when they can't even really apply for it? And a lot of these people will admit, you know, like, yeah, that I haven't gotten my job stolen. And when I point out, like, you know what kind of immigration really does steal your jobs? Indians, Asians, because those people come over here and they do a much better job
Um,
than you and
because
still cheaper.
they're smarter, and they come from really shitty conditions.
Yeah, like today, me and my wife, we I went to go buy Japanese food today, and she
Mm.
mentioned how a client that goes to her job just came back from Japan, and then he was just telling everybody at her job how they don't they don't have garbage cans in the street. Like the culture itself is so different that people, instead of putting garbage in a garbage can in the street, they'll hold the garbage until they get home and dispose of it
I
in,
definitely do that all the time, bro.
you know. And
All the time.
but that's how we got into the whole, it's a cultural thing.
Right.
And that's why I told her, you know, that's why the world looks down on the US, because everybody walks around so entitled. Everybody feels like somehow somebody did something to them that allowed them not to live the greatest life that they could be. When
But you also see that in Britain. It's not just an American
I
thing.
mean, I've never.
Britain, in Britain, it's similar. Brexit was a great example, bro.
But remember, America is Little Britain. That's America is the child of Britain.
Right.
It got a little rebellious, wanted to get its own room or move out and be like, no, you can't tell me what to do. But ultimately, it's still its child, because the U.S. would not be what it is without the colonization by the Europeans, meaning the English, you know, and that's why there's so many parallels between there and here, because they brought their shit over here, bro, and then we base it off of that. Why do you?
The crazy thing is that you know what a flag really does? It disguises the fact that we're still colonized. We're still colonized. Our
Yeah,
countries are still
and
colonized.
and I try to explain that to every single person that's afraid of doing anything besides just going to their job, besides just going to work. Because I try to tell them, you know why you're so, I don't want to get involved in all these things, is because you think in your head that any little thing that you do is gonna get you in trouble, and that comes from being colonized, because they have beat us down so much that we by ourselves feel like we can't talk back, like we can't question anything. When in reality, we don't lose anything by questioning anything. Obviously, if you go out, you do dumb shit, you know, you trespass, trying to protest and yeah, like that can get you in trouble. But just straight up questioning authority is something we don't do, bro. Why do you think there's so many people that are willing to accept to work longer hours for no more pay? You
Hmm.
know, that happens all the time, bro. All these Republican conservative people that own small businesses, for example, local pizzeria here, Stella's. I saw that they were being sued for not paying overtime to their employees.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
and if you stop and think about it, that means people were working more than 40 hours a week and getting paid the same amount
Yeah, that's crazy.
per
That's
hour. So you're working 50, 60, 70,
so
80 hours without being compensated more. But the reason why nothing ever was done about it is because we were scared. We were so colonized. They were like, "Oh, be grateful that you have a job. Be grateful that they're paying you." When the owner is out here driving a $120,000 BMW, like, and like
but
that and just it enrages me, bro.
so
Because
quick reminder. When was the last time you were at Stella's?
me personally, I haven't been in a while.
I was there recently and I looked inside the kitchen and everybody in the kitchen happens to be
Yeah, bro.
yeah.
And the crazy thing,
That's your
bro,
people, bro.
is that you look again. You look at the owners, and
Yeah.
they're conservative, They're usually Republican. They're usually the people complaining about all these things and not realizing that they are benefiting so much from our people being here. But
Right.
yet they'll go around and be like, "Oh, let's vote Republican, let's vote Trump," all these sort of things, And that shit just it enrages me, bro, because I understand that as an entrepreneur, you build the opportunities for people to be employed. I understand that. I'm not taking that away from nobody. But at the end of the day, you gotta give people the value in order for them to feel appreciated and want to work. The finally somebody. I don't know how the lawsuit came about, but at least I know now that people are getting, they're getting sued, and hopefully, whoever sued gets,
Justice.
compensated, in financially, because that's ultimately what you're doing. You're giving them time, and you're supposed to trade time for money, and they weren't giving them money for the time they were spending there, bro. And if you stop and think about it, like when you working full, you're working at least 60 hours a week. That means 20 hours over what you're paying, what you're supposed to be working. Because think about it, they work 8 hours, but I guarantee you, they're there at least 10 hours a day, working 6 days a week. That means 60 hours,
Yeah.
20 hours on top of what a regular person would work.
How many hours does the average human stay up for? Is it 14?
Uh,
And then
pro-
sleep for 8? I mean,
Probably, yeah,
ideally, right?
because
That's
I've seen things online where people work for 8 hours, people sleep for 8 hours, and then do other things for
for
the other
8
eight
hours.
hours.
I've
So,
seen that one too.
so I'm pretty sure it's something like that. Me personally, I'm a lazy motherfucker, so I'll try to sleep as much as possible.
Yeah.
With kids, is a little difficult.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
downright impossible. But yeah, it's about. I'd say people are awake about 14, 16 hours more, give or take hour here or there.
Sleep is very important.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, bro. And that's another thing that we don't really notice. Like I was just working overnights
Yeah.
for almost 2 years, or if not 2 years,
Yeah.
and I could feel the effects on myself physically.
Right. Of
Like
course.
you're not as sharp, you're not as
Right.
alert,
Right.
you don't recover as fast.
That's how. Well, think about it. That's how they keep you dumbed down, bro.
Yeah,
That's how
exactly.
they keep. It's not that you're dumbed down. It's just you're too tired to respond. So they wear you down. You know, but you just can't fight back. I mean, you
Yeah.
could, but again, it goes back to your mentality.
No, yeah, and the thing is that one thing I'm noticing now that I'm going to interviews looking for different types of jobs, things that I usually wouldn't go for. I'm realizing that there are a lot of job openings out there, things that us Paisas usually wouldn't apply for due to legal statuses and stuff like that. But there are a lot of jobs, bro. Like, I was reading an article about there are a lot of trade jobs that aren't being really. See, here you go. This headline says high paying trade jobs sit empty while high school grad lines while high school grads line up for university, meaning there's more people wanting to go to college than there are people wanting to take high paying trade jobs, meaning plumbers, electricians,
Grunt work.
like doing things with your hands. And that's one thing I'm noticing, bro. Like there's so many jobs out there that, like, it's like one example would be driving.
Right, but here's the thing about that. Don't you think it's because in the matter of decades it'll be obsolete?
It might could be, but I mean, I don't really see the thing about um plumbing, carpentry, all those sort of things is that, for example, right now you can buy a brand new Toyota Corolla or a Camry. Let's say a Corolla for under 20,000. New. That means a car with a warranty, everything's working, should be fine for a really long time. You can get it for $20,000. Do you know that you can buy a $600,000 Rolls Royce? And you want to know what the difference is between those two cars?
Talk to me.
The fact that one of those is made by human hands.
Mm.
The 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 Corolla is made by robots and put together,
In an assembly line.
yeah, and I'm sure it's more efficient, again allows for a much accessible product, but ultimately the thing we all want or wouldn't mind having is a thing that someone put together by hand.
Right.
Like
Right.
right now, as I'm getting older, I'm learning to appreciate finer made things. You know?
Because you've gone through so much cheap shit that it breaks down
Yeah.
that you realize that how dependable something of good quality
Yeah,
is.
and I'm not saying that humans are the best thing at everything because we're not.
Hmm.
But ultimately, there's something that that you get a feeling, a good feeling about holding something or using something that someone took the time to actually doing. Because let's take a floor for example. You can lay down like a vinyl tarp kinda over your floor and you'll be fine. But it will never be the same as a professional tile setter coming in and hooking you up with a mean design with something that looks amazing because they don't I'm sure you could there's a machine that could do it, but it's not the same. You know, that's things that are happening now. And back to your suggestion about is it gonna be obsolete? Maybe. It could be. But right now it's not, you know, and
But
it
that's not what I meant. I mean, it'll become obsolete. So people having this shared mentality go into maybe technology.
oh
So
no,
they
yeah,
get
yeah.
that's what I think. That's really what it is. I think people don't want to do the grunt work. They don't want to get their hands dirty. They come from a different world,
Yeah,
and it's more
it
technology based, more information based, more data,
yeah,
analytical, finance. I mean,
it's looked down upon, you know, and
yeah, unfortunately, people don't realize how much money, like a truck driver, right? People look at truck drivers as like, there goes somebody that leads a shitty life, made a lot of mistakes, and all they have is truck driving. These motherfuckers get paid six figures,
yeah,
dog.
yeah.
Six.
Again,
I worked at a truck, like a trucking company, and those motherfuckers have bread, son.
yeah,
Like,
it might be long hours, might be a tough job, but ultimately, what we all want
yeah,
the money is good, you know.
benefits, better benefits than teachers,
Oh yeah, that's
way better benefits.
yeah,
If it's a union job,
yeah.
great money.
How much does it suck that teachers don't get paid, bro?
They
Like,
get paid shit, bro.
yeah, like that's one thing that really blows my mind. Like, is it like
And they're important as fuck, bro, to society.
that's exactly what I was gonna say. How is it that the people that influence your children more outside of the parents?
Because they don't want your children to be capable of critical thinking and analysis or to have good intuitive instinct, right? That's why they get paid shit money. But professional athletes will make millions because they keep everybody
They get
pulled into the mirage.
they give them that false hope of I could do it too.
Yeah,
I might could.
yeah.
I might could. Like I don't. I remember probably 5 6 years ago. I had a job where one of the girls that worked there, she was dating a guy that he was so into basketball, and he would say, "Oh, I'm most likely not gonna be in the NBA, but I could at least." My man would say, "At least go play overseas." You know, and I don't know how big a deal that is, or how many
It's
people
all about
actually.
following a passion. I mean, you could
Yeah,
anybody could play pro in any leagues overseas, but you also have to maintain like a second job.
and and that's not to say that not to follow your dreams. You know, obviously that's what I want. That's what everybody should do. You know, follow your dreams. You know, at some point you might realize that it's not really worth your time for you to do it, or maybe it is. You know, thing is that all the success stories you hear about people finding their passion, it either takes a long time or you need to be really good. And
But the reason why you're really good is because you work really hard at it.
yeah,
It's the thing. If your work ethic isn't up to par, and that goes back to the many distractions of life. If you're
oh
gonna stick to something, stick to it. Because if you're gonna say, oh, "I'm gonna do this," I'm gonna get there, but you're still letting yourself get distracted and focusing on other shit, it's not gonna go anywhere.
no, yeah, and then ultimately that affects the again the type of jobs that you are gonna want to search,
Exactly.
the type of things you feel like you're gonna be eligible for because
Right.
you know. I forgot where it was that I read it, but it says that the average American changes career 3 to 4 times,
Hmm.
and I'm assuming that comes from you being at a job and something happening there to where either you get replaced or the company goes down, and then you're forced to look for a different type of job, therefore forcing you to go into a different field. And I feel like a lot of people just again try to look for what's comfortable instead of looking for what's really out there. That's why if anybody needs help starting a resume to look for better jobs, like, because right now I've learned the importance of what a well written as resume can do for you. And I always thought, fuck is a resume? Just go in, fill out the application, whatever. And ultimately, that is what you got to do. Apply for the job itself. But the resume just sort of helps people get a quick summary of
What you're gonna
what,
be like.
yeah, what you're gonna be like exactly. Because even if it's short and simple, as long as you highlight the things that you're good at, it can allow people to see whether you would be a good fit or not for whatever job. Again, right now that I'm applying for a lot of things, I've been applying for different types of sales
Yeah.
jobs, different types of driving jobs, and the craziest one that I applied for that I didn't even know I was really gonna get any attention from was receptionist and manager position at a spa.
Hey, that
Yeah,
would have been pretty dope.
yeah, I'm probably gonna take the interview just to sort of see what they have to offer.
Right.
But it's cool to know that I don't just have to work at a warehouse.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's usually the type of stuff that I'm involved with. But it's
But say what you will about warehouses. If you really keep your eye open, they teach you a lot.
oh no,
If you
yeah,
really listen to all of those people that have been there for fucking 50 years, they're all cautionary tales. Nothing against working at a warehouse. It's a rite of passage. If you're going to pursue something in warehouse management and start there, great. Stay there. But get the fuck out of a warehouse as soon as you can.
yeah, because anywhere that gives you an opportunity to go into the managerial sort of jobs is good because people go to school to learn how to manage. And if they could teach you that at your job, that's something you're not paying for. That's something.
Free education.
That's exactly what it is. We have free education all over, and that's the shit that blows my mind the most. The fact that a lot of people don't recognize that and don't take those opportunities just because they think of, oh, I can't do it. Okay, you probably can't do it, but you can learn while you do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Fake it till you make it.
Oh yeah, the older I get, the more I understand what that's about
Because it's about taking risk, and high risk equals high reward.
yeah, because
Gotta be sharp, though.
yeah, all the hustling people that I know, people that really grind, I've seen them several times, and this is myself included. When someone will ask you, "Oh, hey, do you know how to do this?" and without hesitation, "Oh yeah, I know how to do that," well knowing
You
that
don't know?
you don't know at all,
But
but you'll find out though.
great news, though. There's this thing called YouTube Academy where you can, if you really want to learn how to do something, you will learn it.
Exactly.
You will learn it because you have the resources available. The thing is, are you willing to do it? Are you willing to invest the time? If you're not, then it's not going to work out. Again, it goes back to work ethic. You want to do this, but you're saying, oh, well, I don't have the money to go to school, or I don't have this. Yeah, you don't need to. And besides, what they teach you in school is already outdated by the time you graduate.
Yeah,
Stick to the internet. It's faster, it's newer, and it's just better applied to normal life.
yeah, because the internet is so jam packed with stuff that whatever it is that you're looking for, someone has bound to have put it up somewhere.
Right, of course.
Whether it be in writing, a video, pictures, step by step sort of things. Like
Yo,
it's all been there.
You ever heard of, I think it's called Udemy.
I think I've heard of it, but I have no idea what it
It's
is.
it's a site or an app if you want to download it where you can take online courses from people that do this every day or that they've gotten into high positions, and they're only like $20, but they're informative as fuck. So you can't say, oh well, YouTube doesn't have, or YouTube has a lot of shit. I don't want to sort through it. Well, there are these sites that have that, and it's a great way to start off. And once you get the fundamentals down, then you can go on YouTube and really play with everything. So I just gave him a free promotions. If you want to send me a shirt, by all means.
Nah, yeah, free shirts are always awesome.
Awesome.
Anybody that wants to send any free shirts, go right
Listen,
ahead.
there's something to be said about free shirts. They're very motivating.
Oh yeah,
They
my,
are
my
very.
my girl works at my wife works at a bank, and I went with her to one of their events that they had, and
Yeah.
they gave me a free shirt, and I wear the shit out that shirt, bro.
Yeah,
I wear
it's
it,
like, hey,
I
thank
wear it
you.
everywhere, and a lot of people have pointed out, be like, "Hey, you work there?" I'm like, "Nah, I just I just got it."
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
that's a part of that dad lifestyle, bro. Like you just get a free shirt
Yeah.
if you like it, and
I got a free waste management shirt. I've never been in waste management. I don't know anything about it, but I do wear the shirt.
yeah, exactly. So as a matter of fact, we
It's
should probably start making free shirts.
free shirts. Yo, speaking of shirts, you know how like when women want the incentive to lose weight, they'll buy a certain outfit a size or two too small
Until they can fit in
until
it.
they can fit in it, so they'll really go hard at the gym. I did that.
I go front. I do that too.
Yo, I bought a black Goku shirt,
Ooh, okay.
a size too small for me, so that I can work on that beach body. So when I come out with it, it's like, hey, splitting image.
I have this much more to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, it's always that, right? It's always that. I'm almost there.
How devastated are you that there is no more Dragon Ball?
Actually, I actually really only started to get into it during the tournament, so I still have the whole Black Goku saga. Like I've seen bits and pieces, I've seen the pivotal points, but some of the fillers and shit, I really haven't gotten to it.
Nah, yeah. I'm so devastated that I kind of made. I've been forcing my kids to watch the whole series all over with me.
Yo,
That's kind of what we do after school now.
I
They
think
come home.
you can always do fan fiction. Write your own fan fiction.
Could really could, but be honest, I enjoy sitting down with my kids and then I have my son be like, "Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Who's that?" And then I like repeating their names the way they say it in Japanese, like Goku-san instead of just Goku.
Yeah,
I like saying Goku-san.
Japanese like languages in anime, it's just better. It's
Oh,
raw,
yeah, definitely.
fucking
Definitely.
raw.
You know what I have been seeing? Because I use this app on the Xbox called VRV, and it's made by this company called Crunchyroll that they
Mhm.
would stream the all the new episodes.
Yeah.
So pretty much they have ads in between, like where the commercials will go, and they have this ad for Ninja Batman or something like that, and it's pretty much Batman but like in an anime.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it's a movie, and I am not a fan of Batman at all, but that
Looks dope.
It looks dope.
Because you know it's gonna be unnecessarily violent.
Oh, of course, yeah, of course, and I am so intrigued by it that I am gonna go illegally download it, bro.
What is the fascination you think with Japanese and gore, and just like horrible?
I mean, they come from their culture really glorifies. Well, I've never been there, so I can't really say for
From
sure.
experience.
But I'm pretty sure that having samurais being kind of like, again, they glorify the samurai. They have a strong code of
Honor.
ethic and honor and all that sort of stuff. That I'm sure that has something to do with it because
So how do you explain tentacle porn?
I read this thing that countries that go through devastating losses in war usually reflect of how bad they feel through their porn. Cause look at the Germans; they lost World War II,
and there it's really pretty violent.
They do a lot of poop stuff. It's a little confusing, The Japanese do the tentacle stuff, and the Germans do the poop stuff, and
Have you ever seen Mexican porn?
yeah, there's a few different types, but it's just usually about a la prima hasta la rima kind of stuff.
Interesting, is it?
Yeah.
I've seen the shit I've seen. It's always like, for some reason, it's always at a bus stop. It's always like at a public transportation hub point, where they just get picked up, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds all right. That's very Mexico,
So sort of bang bussy, but not really.
but not really, because it's el metro maybe.
La combi.
La combi.
Yo, we really need to hit a bang bus and be like, yo,
Yo.
we got a new demographic for y'all. Nah, yeah, no, yeah, we really should work on Mexican versions of a lot of popular internet things.
Hmm. What would be the Mexican version of Uber? Would be Convi, right? Just
Call me, bro.
Convi. Ah, see,
Did, did,
$1,000 idea right
did,
there.
did you know that some Jewish communities have their own version of combis?
Really?
Yeah, they have vans that pick up their people and drop them. It's kind of
Oh,
like a
I've seen them.
cab. It's
I
kind of
have
like
seen
a
them. I
cab,
have seen them.
but in the big van.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Similar to how like churches will pick up
Yeah.
people that live far but want to attend church. The
No.
church van,
Yeah, yeah,
church mobile.
yeah. Those humongous vans. Yeah,
Yeah.
see, that's what I want to do. I want to take the Jewish example in this country
And
and
apply it.
and apply it to us. Only problem is that we don't have the way we believe in God is not the same way they believe in God.
No, no, no. Ours is way more open to interpretation. So,
Yeah,
and people have their own. Yeah. It's
that's exactly what it is, bro. Because I scroll through my timelines and I
right.
see a lot of thank you, Lord, for making me strong, for giving me this,
Yeah.
putting me on the right path and things like that.
It's
And
like,
I'm
no,
like,
you make your own path.
yeah,
Come
you
on.
know. And again, and they'll say all those things, but when it comes down to working or helping somebody else, they
Oh,
are
boy.
nowhere to be seen. When in reality, actually, you want to know how I got rid of some Jehovah Witnesses the other day?
Did you do what I did and tell them? And when you opened the door, you were like, "Would you guys like to join my Satanist?"
No, I did something similar to that. From my second floor window, I see where they park and I see them approaching. They usually go to the neighbor's house first, so I have enough time to sort of prepare.
Okay.
So I go downstairs
Okay.
and I take out my English Torah.
Hmm.
So when they pull up and they're like, "Oh, hey, we want to talk to you about this," I'm like, "Don't say anything. You're gonna quote Old Testament, right?" I take out mine and be like, "Whatever you got to tell me, you know you're wrong, because in the Old Testament it says that God only loves the Jews, and the non-Jews they're all he doesn't care about you." And then once you tell them that everything in the New Testament, since they believe in the Old Testament, it kind of not contradicts it, but it just sort of you show that what they're following is not really.
The Word of God.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. When you break it down, and I've done it other ways too. I've smoked joints. I smoked joints in front of them. They kind of got freaked out. They're like, "Oh yeah, we'll come back later."
Did you offer to share though?
Oh, of course, yeah, of course.
You can't be rude. That's what we grew up.
I've taken out a bong. Didn't really get a chance to take the hit. By the time I take it out, they're like, "Oh," they think it's a crack pack or something. They're like, "Oh, we're out of here."
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that's slowly becoming one of my greatest joys in life. Is
Question:
what's up?
if you met a Jehovah's Witness that was willing to take that bong rip with you, would you look at the Jehovah religion a little different, or at least that guy a little different?
Oh yeah,
right?
I would see a person that thinks more than
Than
what
what
they're
they're
told.
preaching.
Yeah, yeah, because the thing about all this religious stuff, bro, is that a lot of people blindly follow it.
Oh yeah.
Blindly follow it. And
Yep.
like the best example I tell them is like, "Oh, you'll lie to your kids about Santa Claus, and then tell them it's not real, but still believe in the other person you don't see and that he never talks to you and sort of has any interactions with you."
Look, let's keep it funky. Religion was created for comfort. People who were scared to die would be comforted by someone telling them that someone was going to greet them in a pearly gate, and since they were good in life. Do you think there is a heaven or hell? I think there's another spectrum to the existence, right?
Since I like to believe in science, see, I don't want to say I believe only in science, but I believe that reality lies somewhere in between science and the fairy tales that we are told. Like for example, maybe there are ghosts, but maybe it's not the way we think of ghosts. Maybe it's energy living in another dimension.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
And I feel like that's what heaven and hell might be like. Joe Rogan said this once: if you don't have a nose and somebody farts next to you, does that mean that fart isn't there? Since you can't smell it? what if you apply that to other things in life? What if there's other things around us that we don't have any sensory input for, but does that automatically mean that it's not there?
No, it just means that we weren't meant at this stage of our development as a species to understand what's going
Yeah,
on.
because you know how they say dogs can see ghosts and shit like that?
Bro, don't say that because the cat, my girlfriend's cat, was looking at something in the wall, and I did he bopped out of there.
You know why that was, right?
Tell me.
It was just imagining how it could murder you guys if it could.
Yeah, that's true. Yo, cats are dicks.
Oh, they're the worst, bro. Like I hate cats. Like
Nah,
I know they're cute and all, but ultimately, bro, you do know that cats put parasites inside of
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
I read that.
it's called toxoplasm or something like that. Yeah, so it's pretty much yeah, they put a crazy and yeah, they put a crazy parasite inside of you, so you get crazy. That's why those crazy cat
Cat
ladies.
ladies are crazy.
Yeah, yeah, because you have that. Because that same parasite, when it goes into a mouse, it makes it sexually attracted to cat piss.
Hmm.
So the rats won't be scared of the cat,
Yeah.
and it just eats it up and shit. And
Mhm.
that's why cats are evil, bro. I don't fuck with cats.
You seen a cat on catnip though?
No, I.
In person? Interesting shit, bro. Interesting
It took
shit.
me 20 something years to see in person what catnip looks like, because I have never really
It's like looks
cared
like
about cats.
oregano.
Yeah, I saw a bag of it in Hannaford probably about a year ago,
Yeah.
and I'm like, hey, that looks exactly like oregano. So
Yeah.
that's all it is. Yeah, I don't know what it is, bro.
It's
Honestly,
a plant. It's a plant that for some reason makes cats go crazy. So they grab that plant because I guess it releases some toxin in the air that, and like, puts the cat in trance. It's like ecstasy
good
for a
shit.
cat.
Is cat good shit?
Yeah, it's that raw.
It's that
It's that
raw,
it's that gas.
that gas. Yeah, I was gonna say it loud, but nobody really says loud no more. So
I mean, if you're from New York and you just got out of jail, you're definitely saying loud.
yeah, I was saying loud up to a couple months ago.
Yeah, yeah, and I realize
Yeah,
it's gas now.
yeah.
So
It's crazy when you realize that things are forever changing,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and if you don't adjust, you gonna just make yourself look and sound old as fuck.
yeah, yeah. So I guess it's time to talk about the Kanye shit.
Yes, yo, that's yeah.
That was a great segue, by the way.
I love how most people that fuck with Kanye up to let's say about a year ago or up to when before he tweeted shit, they were all super liberal. Like it's like anybody that follows Kanye and say he's woke and say that he's a lyricist and all that sort of shit.
He's not.
It's usually the people that are very on the liberal side. And I wish I could see how their minds just sort of just explode.
Exploded, right?
Yeah, because that shit was fucking crazy.
It was wild. But yo, here's the thing. Like, I'm a big Kanye West fan. Kanye West died a while ago. This is Kanye Kardashian,
Do you really think that's what happened, bro?
bro. Absolutely.
Is the Kanye we have right now? Is he a clone?
I don't think he's a clone. I think he's just doing some really good fucking drugs.
He died on the inside.
Yeah, exactly. He died on the inside. He died on the inside, and that's the money does that. Selling out does that. I mean, he sold out. Like, who didn't see that coming? You'd have to be pretty. If you follow Kanye, like, you knew that shit was coming. The minute he fucked with the Kardashians, like, I see, he's going that way. I mean, you that's the thing. People don't know how to separate art from the artist.
Yeah.
And you have to. You have to because an artist, just like everyone else, like, you're not the same person you were 10 years ago.
No,
Completely different mindset.
no, yeah, of course. I think your all the bodies, all the cells in your body replace themselves every 7 years. I think something like that.
Is that right?
So technically, you are a whole nother person
Hey, see?
every so often.
See?
So, yeah, because think about it. If 16-year-old you could see you right now, and you would explain to them how you see life, they would really look at you, and be like, "Yo,
Like,
shut the fuck up, man. You a bitch."
yeah. Matt Corny be
I
like,
think.
look at his goody ass.
I
Look at
think
his old ass. Oh, man, my
I
hairline.
I think about that all the time, bro.
Yeah,
I
of
think
course.
about that every single day. I'm like, damn, yo, 16-year-old me will be burning me up right now.
Yeah, yeah. No, not me. I lost weight. And be like, hey, way to go. You did
Leveled
it.
up, leveled
Good
up,
job.
leveled up. Nah, yeah, yeah. That it's not yeah, but that whole Kanye shit is crazy.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's wild because Kanye was very pro black, and then now he's very pro minority. Like, it doesn't get whiter than supporting Trump. Like, that's the whitest. That's the rawest of the raw on the white scale.
Yeah, and then
Is racist white guy.
I try to be as what do you call it, subjective
Right,
as possible. I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt.
right,
But and again, I'm not to say that I like Trump because I don't. But then I'm not gonna try to blame him for everything.
right.
I understand that the political system put him in, and people voted and all these sort of things. But in reality, the people that put him there are old people that vote, because that's
Pretty
usually
much.
who votes.
Pretty
And
much.
again, bringing it back to why I wanted to record today was just to point out that we have the power to change all these little things, bro. We do. We really, really, really do. All the states that voted for Trump, I'm sure we have enough brown people in there to be able to swing the way the vote comes out. And ultimately, I feel like that's what we gotta push for. We gotta have people just spread the ideas of do it, just go vote. You really dislike how things are going, vote, because the best thing you could do, because like when my parents talk to me about Trump this, Trump that, that's why we don't have papers, or that's why they haven't fixed anything and stuff like that. I tell them, yeah, the president does play a role in them, but you want to know who plays an even bigger role? Congress.
Oh, yeah. Of
Congress
course.
has never ever done anything, and ultimately, those people are in those jobs for a really long time, bro. They sit on those jobs comfy, bro. That's why me personally, I would love to vote out every single congressman in the area, because I know we could. I know with all the votes we have, every single congressman that's sitting in office right now, we could, with our votes, we could get him out of office. Whoever goes in, be like, you're going out of office next election too.
No,
Be-
I think you could also influence a lot. I think that you could, if you're a good lobbyist,
but
you could certainly use some existing members of government, because just because you're replacing them doesn't mean they're gonna do the job the way you want them to. As much as you want to
no,
influence
yeah,
that
of course,
person.
but you got to realize the reason why a lot of these people don't do nothing is
Okay,
because
so but here's the thing: we've analyzed the problem. The problem is people don't vote.
yeah.
Why do you think that is? Like, what is it at the core that prevents us from doing it? Is it because we're not educated enough? Is it because we don't have the resources available? Do we not have people that can maybe translate it into terms that we can understand? Is maybe the solution to start with on a smaller scale?
Yeah, and
Not to say it's less important,
no, yeah.
but maybe us an information hub where we have people that can communicate. Like I've always told you, if I could, I would start an organization that talks to people who just came into the country, gives them education on, hey, if you're gonna be
Help
here,
them assimilate into the culture.
exactly, exactly. Have some setting, uh, Planned Parenthood say, listen, this is what could happen if you're in this country. If you have a child, this is how it's going to affect you. Because what's the first thing a lot of people do when they come? A lot of people from our country do when they come here.
Anchor baby.
Anchor babies. Yes, do that. One.
E- e-
Stop at one,
ev-
please.
Even though, see, but this is where we're gonna differ with the just one, bro, because how are we gonna take over the country if two people are only producing one person, bro? You
I'm
you
glad you brought that up.
because you literally cut down on the amount of people that we have.
Right. See, here's the thing. You stick to one, right? And
Yeah,
you use all that extra profit that you get and use it to better yourself.
yeah,
Use the money that you would use for a second, third, fourth child, and then invest it in yourself so that your child can have more kids than you.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
No, yeah,
Like
yeah,
like you, you're the perfect example. Your father really put a lot of they fought hard, and you have the you have the ability to now have a big family yourself but they're doing a lot better than you are when you were a kid.
No,
Let's
yeah,
face it.
of course, yeah.
And why is that? Because your parents focused on you guys. A lot of people they come and they have kids and they work, but they never go and broaden their horizons. They don't have that access to
See,
that
and
education.
then that is why people don't vote,
Exactly.
because they don't care. No,
Yes.
you, the number one reason why nothing changes is because again we're so colonized
Yes.
that
That we're working our asses off. We're too tired. We're stuck. Yeah, that's it.
that
That's
we are
exactly.
okay with only doing what we have to do. We need to just
Yes.
go to work, come home, and then that's it. If we start caring, if we start showing people why they should care,
Exactly.
and then that's why we need to reach out to the community,
Yes.
because once you start letting them know that there's somebody or a group of people that are willing to do all the talking, all the
Right.
organizing, and all they have
Right.
to do is get behind it and understand why.
Yes.
Because think about it, if you go to any job and you tell them, "Oh, I'll go complain to the supervisor for you guys, so you guys
Right.
don't have to do it," a lot of people, as long as you don't put their name behind it and say, "Oh, this is the people that are
Yeah.
backing us up," yeah,
It's
because
solid representation.
yeah,
It's strong if
and
it's
that's
in large
exactly what we
numbers.
need, And again, people aren't gonna start caring overnight, but once they start seeing that the people that do care are making the differences, that's because think about it. Before there were any Haripeo in Newburgh, people didn't care about it. But once they saw that there's money to be made and entertainment to be had, that's when people saw value out of that, that's when people started caring. And now they're packed every single
Every
weekend,
single week.
and it's just kind of like a community thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an escape that they have. We need to show them the benefits of what you can gain from being politically active and caring about what happens in your community, bro.
Yeah.
Because
Are you anti Haripeo?
no, no.
Okay. I'm sorry. Maybe I misunderstood
I'm
you.
all about the corridos, bro. I
Okay.
was just using it as an example to show that something that you might not think can affect the community, as long as people show interest initially and let them know that it's a thing,
Right.
it will grow.
Right.
You know, just as the saying goes, build it and they will come.
Right.
And then that's what we need to do with anything that's political, because we can talk among us and people that we know and all these things and pretty much just point out the things that are good and bad about the political system that we live in. But until there's an actual thing, whether it be an organization, political group, whatever it be, until there's that thing, people won't know that they have to care. They won't know that it can affect their life, and that's pretty much all I want to do. That's why right now I'm trying to do whatever it is I can to reach out to the community and sort of get things rolling. I got my man Jorge. Damn it, what's his? What? Sanchez. There you go, Jorge Sanchez, aka Doughboy. I got him about to be the street team. So if you're in Newburgh, keep a lookout for him. He's gonna be out there collecting signatures to see who's part of the community. So again, we start accumulating numbers and try to find out who's in our community so we can represent you guys. Because again, we're gonna have local elections soon, and I want to let whoever the mayor is going to be, I want to let them know, hey, there's a whole bunch of us here, and you should really look at us. You should pay attention to us, because you might have an idea of who's here and who votes, but the amount of people that I know, just again, I've been building a small list for a while, and I'm already at like 40, 50 people. If you look at the amount of numbers of people that vote, if we get 300 people that can vote, we can swing elections, bro. Because again, we don't have to have the a full number. Let's say 1,000 people vote here normally, meaning 400 are gonna vote for one side and 600 are gonna vote for the other side. Meaning there's 200 votes separating one from the other. So as long as we can get 201 votes,
Hmm.
we can swing whoever isn't winning, and vice versa. That's why, like I mentioned earlier, I want to vote all of the congressmen out of here. All the local politicians from the city of Newburgh, all the councilmen, the mayor, all of those. every time there's an election to vote them out, just so people understand that we might not be the majority, but we have the numbers to be able to swing things from one side to the other, because that's when we are going to start being respected as a community, when we show that we have the numbers to influence things. Again, not make all the changes. We don't want to take over things. We just want to be represented. We want people to know that we're here and we want to be represented. You know?
But as a collective, we also have to educate ourselves.
Yeah,
man, because
we have to be aware of why we want to be represented.
because if and also here's the other thing, like we really have to know who we're gonna put in office, right? If we choose someone, what if they're not the best choice for us?
We vote them out again. The reason why this might not make sense is because up to now, again, we haven't cared about who's in office. For all we know, it could have been the same person for the past 8, 10 years. And since we don't really care, we don't see how it affects us. We don't pay it any mind. But the moment we do start paying it mind, and we see that we can make the difference, that's when we can be looked at and be like, hey, what is it that you guys need? You know, because like I said, because every politician's number one thing to do once they get into office is to get reelected. That's always.
I think that takes a priority towards the end, man. I mean, sure, I think a lot of the policies they go on to do or bills they try to push forward, they definitely do it from promises that they made. Yeah, air quotes on promises
Yeah.
that they made. I think that's a lot. It's just for fucking appearance. I think uh, what they're really trying to do is whoever paid them,
Yeah.
the lobbyist. Again, I think
And do you think if they're not in office, do you think they can keep those promises to the people that paid for them to be there?
well, here's the thing: who are what if we were the lobbyists?
I mean, we could be, but
I think that's a smarter move. I think a lobbyist. I think Mexicans have a lot of fucking money. Believe it or not, there's a lot of businesses that are brown. There's
oh,
a lot
yeah.
of potential for people that.
And again,
It goes back to what you said. Like they're working at these fucking shitty jobs where they're getting taken advantage of. They don't realize that the knowledge that they have, the experience that they have, they could take over these businesses, take them out.
yeah, we can help them build competing businesses.
Stella's Pizza, quit, start your own pizzeria, pull
Start-
your money together. Let's get your money together.
Start it next door.
Guess what? Stella's is gone.
Yeah, like I've always told people, this is like I'm gonna use landscaping as an example.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah.
If you go to any landscaping company that's around here locally, and you go to the workers and you tell them, hey, I'm gonna pay you for your day's worth of work, all of you guys, to not work.
Fuck yeah.
The person that's in charge is going to listen what their demands are, because the job will not be done. And those small business owners cannot afford to not work for a day.
Right.
Because the amount of clients that are going to be unhappy, the amount of money they're going to lose out on, trust me, they'll go to the table and listen to what we have to say. Problem being is that, again, we're so colonized
Right.
that there's gonna be the one person that's like, oh, nah, I'm too scared to not do that because I might get fired.
Right. Yeah.
But not understanding that if everybody does the work,
Yeah.
there's no way they can fire you,
No.
because they need the job done within the hour. They're gonna be like, how do we resolve this?
Oh, we go to all the brown people that work really hard and squeeze more juice out of them. That's what they do, bro.
Yeah, that's exactly what they do.
And
But
here's the thing, though. The thing is, we have huge numbers, and what you're saying is absolutely true. But worst comes to worst, you could always do the Starbucks model. You know what I'm referring to? When Starbucks first came and into the market, what they did was they would open up 2 Starbucks on either side of the corner on the street on which the coffee house was. They would lose money like crazy. But what they would do is they would take away their clients left and right, until the original coffee place couldn't keep up, went out of business. What did Starbucks do? They closed one of the shops and took over the whole block.
just kept the one, yeah, and then just up
That's
their margins, yeah.
people that do landscaping. You leave and you form a collective, and then you break it up.
Yeah.
Same organization, same entity,
Yeah.
but that person that was really fucking you over and keeping all the money for your hard work, they're not going to be around much longer. And once they're gone, go back together. Same people that are working, but guess what? Now you're making the money you worked for.
Yeah. In the dream world, that's exactly the way we go about it, bro.
Exactly.
And then that's what I'm saying. Like as long as we could, and that's why today the things that we can do is gather the numbers we have, gather the actual
Right.
resources that we
Right.
have today, because everybody is down to do something until they have to put money down. Because ultimately we have so little of it that we don't want to lose any of it, because it's hard for us to understand the concept of having to invest money to make money.
Yeah, because
We hear it, but we don't really
and
understand it.
I mean, it's also cultural because our parents come from a mindset of save, save, save your money. It's never invest, educate and invest. It's always no, don't spend money on that. You never know what might happen, so keep this money here. Again, it goes back to we're scared. Oh, let's not lose our jobs because then we lose our house and this and that. So let's keep our money in a bank where it's never really used for what it could potentially be used for.
Nah, yeah, of course, because even when you keep it in the bank, you're making somebody else money by having your
Exactly.
money there, So just to pretty much bring everything together, we just have to understand that we have a lot of social power, economical power.
Number.
Yeah, we have numbers, and especially like the one thing that nobody can take from us is the amount of labor that we produce. The amount of work that we do for the community. We have to start letting the a community be aware of how much we actually do for them. Because think about it, we keep their yards looking nice. We make sure that the food is at the table. We make sure we cook their food when they go out to eat. And all of these things might not seem like much, but they're part of the everyday American life.
Of
And
course.
if we don't stand up and talk for our people, nobody else is gonna do it. Nobody's gonna do it. So that's why, again, that's what this Spice of Life thing is. It's about, all of us getting together, and whatever anybody wants to do, we all back each other up. So keep a lookout for everything we got going. Me and my man Olga, we're gonna be recording more podcasts soon. Check out his Just the Tip podcast. Hilarious as hell. If you got any relationship questions, advice, anything that has to do with interactions that men and women have with one another, that's definitely the place to go to. Um, like I said, just check him out. He got 3 episodes out right now. Make sure to check them out. They're all hilarious.
Appreciate it, bro.
And keep a lookout for me. I got my boy. He's coming through in a couple of days, and we're gonna do hustle anything podcast. Pretty much just 2 people that don't wanna work for anybody for the rest of their life. Kind of want to start something. We'll go step by step on the simple things you can do to sort of get your business running as we do it ourselves. So we don't talk from you should this and us not doing it now.
Right.
We're gonna do step by step on things that we can do. Got my pull up show on YouTube that I'm gonna be doing. So anybody that has a car they want me to highlight, show off any of that, hit me up, and just keep a lookout. Again, this doesn't work without other people. So if anybody has any ideas, any support, anything, just reach out. A couple likes help. A couple shares help. Ideas help. Anything that has to do with us. Let's work with one another for one another. Right. Thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you soon. Peace.